The Sesc Pompeia is a distinctive concrete building located in Brazil used as a cultural center. This building is made up of concrete blocks that include irregular windows. Surrounding buildings used to be an old factory and was going to be demolished until the plans were changed. The owner changed his mind when the architect, Lina Bobardi, proposed to keep the factory. This makes these buildings stand out, as Lina decided to keep the original bones and structure, but redesign the interior and make small updates. This is cool that she decided to keep the original structure because it goes to show how old architecture and new can still work together through many changes and differences. She was born in Italy in 1914 and completed her studies in Rome. Her idea to recycle the factory was considered revolutionary in this day and age. Near the entrance, the red buildings that you can see on the ground are libraries, theaters, arts and crafts studios, and a dental practice. The concrete buildings you see are designed for sports facilities with change rooms and as well as a water tower that is disguised as a chimney. The pillars inside the building are cast-in-place concrete and are there to help support the structure and add an appealing look to the inside of the building. The pillars are designed wider at the bottom and connects at the top to tie beams. On top of the tie beams is another beam that sits identically on top above the first one. The space between pillars is 11.5 feet and 33 feet between rows. These rows and pillars are seen all throughout the building and they define the space. She stacked concrete cubes together which would allow each story to have its own purpose. The ground floor consists of a swimming pool, the first floor a soccer field, the second floor a gym, and the third floor is an open area that is usually meant for soccer. The fourth floor has 2 courts for any kind of sport you can think of. The windows you see are not windows but holes in the wall. It's different than the average window, and Lina Bobardi called them prehistoric holes. Each hole was discussed with an engineer before any concrete pouring had happened. The metal grid is widened at the place for the chosen hole, then a thick life-size plug was made to fit the hole. Concrete was then poured and then the plug was removed to create the holes in the building. The second building seen on the right here are the change rooms, washrooms, and shower, which are accessible by these concrete pathways reaching from building to building. When building these 2 concrete towers, there was a river that flowed right through the middle of where she wanted to build these buildings. Instead, she built part of the building on one side of the river and the other on the opposite side. Later after construction, the river dried out and is now just a runway for rainwater, which is why Lina Bobardi built a path over top of the old river which allows for people to hang out and allow for pedestrian access. This cultural center opened in 1982 and is still in use today. Next, we have the Long Museum. The Long Museum is located in Shanghai, China, and is one of the most unique museums in the area. The building is around 355,000 square feet and was China's largest private museum. It has 3 floors, a ground floor, first floor, and a basement, and each story is filled with different type of art. This building was designed by the architecture firm Atelier des Choux. This firm was founded in 2001 and they have a tendency to explore different architectural designs as seen with this building. As you can see in these photos, the museum is built surrounding an old coal conveyor loading bridge, and this was kept to help show the architecture history. Rather than demolishing the bridge, architect Liu Yichen chose to make it the center of the building and the entrance. This is a great way to show the connection between the new architecture with the old by having them both contrast each other, and it really makes a unique museum. The architect wanted their design to not be defined by its physical appearance but by its architectural surroundings, and wanted the design to be limitless. You can see the structure of the bridge is made from cast-in-place concrete, and the exterior of the surrounding building is also made from concrete. The curves of the concrete add a free open layout, and these are called vaulted umbrella walls. These umbrellas were designed to span 8 meters independently and was engineered approved until their code said that they had to include more of a structure within the umbrellas. Each umbrella is linked with a smaller beam, allowing flexibility such as, if there was to be an earthquake, that it would stand strong and fulfill their structural role. These images here show a perfect example of what vaulted umbrellas are, and these are seen throughout the whole building. Architect Liu Yichen says that she went to Rome to study the vaulted archways and dome-shaped pieces of architecture, specifically for when she was designing this museum. The concrete walls really add to the viewings of the contemporary art located inside the museum. Liu Yichen also said that, in the structural transition, the freedom of wall positioning is critical. This freedom is not only about location, but also about direction. She later on explained that putting these walls together was similar to completing a puzzle. Both of these 2 buildings show outstanding architecture as well as a connection to prehistoric design. Cast-in-place concrete is very common in the construction industry, and as you can see from the Sesc Pompeia, the 1950s bridge was made of cast-in-place concrete. Architecture design changes over time, but cast-in-place concrete will forever be used.